Florida insurance can be confusing, especially heading into hurricane season. Today, we're answering the questions that homeowners and buyers should ask before the next storm is on the radar. I'm here today with Angela Dalaq. She is a senior producer at Brightway, the Trout Agency. Thanks for joining us.
Yay, so excited.
Well, we're getting ready to go into hurricane season, so we figured what a good time to talk a little bit about insurance before, like I said, the next storm is on the radar. So when hurricane season begins, what's the first thing that every Florida homeowner should review when it comes to their insurance policy?
Yeah, it's so important for you to definitely get your documents in a row. Obviously, know who your agency is. Get your declaration page together. Review your coverages, making sure you are, you're acknowledge what deductibles you're responsible for. Flood insurance is not included in your home insurance in most cases. So, just making sure that, maybe that is an option that you want to look into. Flood is flood, so regardless if there's a hurricane out there or just a regular fluke storm, rising water from outside coming in is going to be categorized towards that.
Good to know, and no surprises as the hurricane comes. So like she said, know what your policy covers. So does the standard Florida homeowners policy automatically cover hurricane damage?
Oh, yeah. If you don't exclude wind coverage, of course. So you will definitely have, your standard wind coverage. That wind will include hail and any hurricanes that come through, for sure.
Awesome. So what is a hurricane deductible and how is it different from a normal homeowner's insurance deductible?
Yeah, that's a great question. And a lot of people don't really know the difference between the two, except for the amount you have to pay out or the amount that you're going to be responsible for. So your what's called an all perils deductible, that is a per occurrence. That's anything other than hurricane. So if there's a named storm out there, that will fall under the hurricane deductible. Now, the standard hurricane deductible will be 2%, but your hurricane deductible is a calendar year. The AOP deductible, which is all other peril deductible, is a per occurrence. So if you had for example, you had a hurricane that come through, took off your roof, you're responsible for that 2% hurricane deductible, and you got a brand new roof, another one comes along, and it's happened. I've seen it. I'm like, you need to move out.
Yeah, if it happens twice,
yeah,
bad sign.
Right, but you're off the hook from that being responsible for that hurricane deductible.
Awesome. Are hurricane deductibles based on the purchase price of the home, or is it the insured replaceable value?
Yeah, we get that question a lot. It's actually the replacement cost of the dwelling. So it's always going to, if you have a 2%, 5%, it's always going to come off with the replacement of the dwelling. Yeah.
So you're hoping that if a hurricane comes, that it's when you have an older roof, not a brand new roof.
I'm not saying.
Get more for your money.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about what buyers should know before they're making offers when it comes to the real estate side of things. How can a roof age affect whether a Florida home is insurable or affordable to insure?
Yeah. I feel like right now the market is becoming, a little bit more lenient. It's getting back to where it was, but, the roofs definitely have a huge variable in like price and, of course, eligibility. So there are options, of course, if it's older, but there's no damage. It's in great shape. I mean, we do have options for that. The carrier's not going to say no, but they might not give you that full replacement value for that older roof. So it is insurable as long as there's no damage to it. Damaged roofs, that's a number one questions asked on applications. So we try to steer into seeing if they can, negotiate a newer roof.
Gotcha. And what's a wind mitigation inspection, and why can it matter specifically for Florida or Brevard home buyers?
Yeah, wind mitigation report definitely drives down the rate. It gives you credits that the home is eligible for. You got a newer roof, 2002 and newer, you're automatically, you get a credit just for that. There's also, just the way the, roof is attached to the home. But there's definitely quite a few credits on there that's going to drive that rate down.
You mentioned the way that the roof is attached to the home. Could you explain a little bit more about that? What should people be looking for? Or what should inspectors be looking for?
Well, the inspectors, they know what they're looking for. But the fact that if the roof is already on there, there's either toenails, clips, or single wraps. And now double wraps is a new coating right now. So a lot of the single wraps, nailing is actually turning into double wraps, which is, those are the ones that are, connected to the, truss and how it's, stabilizing the roof. The clips, single wraps, and double wraps are definitely what we're looking for in a, to get that rate down.
Awesome. Let's reduce cost where we can.
Oh, absolutely. And if you don't have it, there is retrofitting that, you could, get, if you wanted to get those credits. I mean, it could be costly. It might just be an extra nail or so, but it's definitely worth getting a quote to get a retrofit.
Certainly. Should buyers get an insurance quote before making an offer on a house, during the inspection period, or later in the process?
As soon as you can, honestly, because you can't compare apples to apples with these homes around here. Anything can happen. I mean, you got a neighbor that has the same exact house, but that neighbor also has, a big claim or doesn't have open protection on there. So we get a lot of, calls like, oh, my neighbor has, it's only paying for this much, but also has a 2026 roof and open protection compared to you only have a 2010 roof and nothing. So, but essentially a new buyer, yes. I mean, you just don't know if there's claims on the home, and what kind of, variables that rate will be higher than something that you're able to afford.
I'm so glad you said that. From the lending perspective, we say the same thing. Bind your insurance as soon as possible so you know exactly what you're dealing with, especially when you're making an offer on a new home.
Yeah. And, what's great about, just even with our brokerage that, we can custom tailor to either fit a debt to income ratio issue or, just to fit a borrower's budget, client's budget, and that's always been so helpful to give them those options.
Having that open line of communication to where you say, okay, we can make it work in this scenario if we just adjust something here and here.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. So let's talk a little bit about Brevard County specific questions. Are there noticeable insurance differences between beachside versus mainland or riverfront and inland properties in Brevard County?
Yeah, the coastal ones are you could definitely see a huge difference in that too, especially with flood quotes. In 2021, they got rid of the whole they only rated on longitude and latitude now, so even flood quotes are just outrageous in coastal. So, but homes for sure. I mean, you see a framed home in Melbourne Beach, oh yeah, it's going to be pricey. So you better hope to have those wind mitigation credits, Mac Daddy wind mitigation credits on there.
That's an actual industry term, Mac Daddy.
Yeah, Mac Daddy.
Awesome. What is the best insurance advice that you would give someone relocating to Florida from another state? Let's say they're not familiar with Brevard County or not familiar with Florida insurance.
I know it's kind of scary when they're transitioning here because ultimately it's a price thing for them. So they're coming from Ohio and stuff like that. So when they're even getting car insurance, they're like, oh my God, it's tripled. Yep, that's Florida for you.
Why do you think they're so shocked?
They're just not educated about it. To me, that's the first thing, before quoting, I'm super transparent, like, this is going to be something you're probably not used to seeing. So it kind of gives, a little bit of comfort knowing that, okay, I'm going to prepare them. I mean, they're going to be prepared for a little higher rate. And then when I can get them something that's a little bit reasonable, they're like, oh, okay. So I kind of, in the front end, and I have a lot of referral sources that do the same thing. They educate them and let them know that, Florida's just a little different with how they do insurance here, and it's a little costly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think letting them know up front takes some of that sticker shock off of the back end.
Yeah, it does, and it honestly really helps in just educating them and why, how do we get here, and why are our rates like this right now, and fortunately, I mean, we have definitely seen a tremendous decrease with these rates, and the carriers, you can tell, are giving back, and that's definitely something we're really looking forward to for the future.
Yeah.
Just stay away from the hurricane. If the hurricanes can stay away, that'll be fine.
That would be wonderful. So we had mentioned a little bit earlier some personal stories. Do you have any stories of people that you've helped or maybe were in a situation that they didn't know what they didn't know and you were able to walk them through it?
Sure. So I had one, it always sticks with me. There was one hurricane and we all had to go home for it and work from home. The hurricane was passing through. I had a customer that literally just probably 1 year, I'm going to say 1 year, just bought this house in Titusville. And my phone was blowing up at 7 o'clock in the morning and texting. And all I saw was, do I have flood?
That's so scary.
It is so scary. So I'm like, oh my gosh, my heart is racing. So I immediately get up and, ultimately my biggest thing is I need to make sure I'm communicating with my customers and they're not feeling like alone in this situation. So I got on the computer and I'm looking through it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't find a flood. I'm like, why would she even ask that? So I'm just like, okay, she's not in a flood zone. Well, there are some carriers that actually will let you endorse flood on the policy. It's not really a common thing, but there is some. Thank God I endorsed that flood endorsement. I don't know the heavens of insurance gods, but I did, and it was a full payout of flood.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Thank God, and I just get chills kind of thinking about that because I'm just like, and that seriously, like, and through the whole claim, it was a big process because with that certain carrier, just it was madness with claims coming, and she was so patient, and she was just like going through so many adjusters, and that's not really common, but it was just like a lot of catastrophic that time. Yeah. So, but she literally was so patient. I was with her all the whole step of the way until it was actually paid out and all the remediations were completed. That's wonderful. So yeah, it's a great story. And I will never forget that. She's still my customer till this day. So yeah.
Could have gone in a totally different direction. Thank you. Yeah. Good job. Good job, Angela. Awesome. Well, this is my favorite question to ask before we end. What is your favorite local go-to place? It can be food, it can be shopping, whatever your favorite local place is to go.
Ooh, that's a great question. Oh, gosh. Honestly, I like the Greek olive place. Lexi took me there for the first time, and I just love the ambience of like outside. You see the water, the food is great. I took my family there the other day too, and he's like, "Yeah, I really love
the one
this."
in Vieira.
Yeah,
Olive Tree.
Yeah, Olive Tree. That's what it is. Yeah,
they have a beautiful space out there. They started in the avenues. They were there for a number of years, and now they built their own space, and it's breathtaking. Yeah, really feels like you're like transported to Greece.
Yeah, honestly, yes, exactly. And the walk around over there, just here is growing so much. It's fun.
It is fun.
See everything.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Your wealth of knowledge. We
Thanks
appreciate you helping out anybody that's looking to buy.
I hope it was helpful.
Definitely helpful. Anybody that's looking to buy, moving to Brevard, just needs to know a little bit more about insurance. Give us a call and share this podcast with a friend.